Wife, 41F, doesn't want our daughter, 15F, to exercise based on misinformation, it will stunt her growth. What can I, 46 meters, do? So, our daughter, Iris, does track and field. She very recently started training again after over a year of hard quarantine, and she wants to start resistance training, body weight exercises like push-ups, squats, crunches, etc. I've been resistance training, mostly lifting weights, since before I met my wife, so I think it's a pretty good idea provided there are safety protocols in place, no crazy moves, no crazy repetition counts, good form, everything is supervised, etc. My wife however heavily disagrees because she thinks doing bodyweight exercises and eventually progressing to weights will stunt her growth, which is wrong on so many ways, starting with the fact that our daughter is already way above average for her age at 167 centimeters. I told her that no, safe resistance training does not stunt your growth as a teen, and also pointed out how arbitrary her disagreement is. I mean, Iris has been running for 6 years and track and field is high impact as fuck. Knees take multiple time your body's weight with each stride when you run, but suddenly push-ups and pull-ups are too much? How does that make sense? I think it's amazing Iris is motivated to build strength, especially considering women really fucking need their bone density as they grow older for osteoporosis and such illnesses. However, I can't unilaterally decide it for both, so now we are stuck because we can't agree and Iris can't do anything. How do I talk to my wife so she sees she's fear-mongering and misinformed, and let Iris go through whatever preliminary test is necessary and start training? Too long didn't read. Wife does not want our daughter to practice resistance training based on misinformation. How can I make her see she's holding back our daughter and that there are ways to train safely? This may have nothing to do with stunted growth or bone density concerns. Could it be that your wife is concerned that her working out will suddenly turn her into some sort of undesirable she-Hulk? I've read several accounts in various fitness subs, and 1 or 2 personal accounts from my own female fitness friends, about women who were very reluctant to do that kind of exercise because they thought it would make them bulk up, and therefore, in their minds, less attractive. Anyway, your wife might not have an issue with track and field and running because runners are thin and toned, but is against lifting weights because in her mind weightlifters are thick and bulky and unfeminine, and maybe she thinks women shouldn't look like that. Maybe she realizes that she can't just come out and say that, so instead she spins some tale about stunting her growth. Maybe what she doesn't realize is that she can't and shouldn't compare her daughter to random bodybuilders or whatnot that she's seen pictures of. Your daughter isn't suddenly going to become like them any more than her learning to drive a car will suddenly turn her into Danica Patrick. If your daughter ever does becomes like that, it'll be because that's what she chose for herself, and because she put years of constant effort and dedication behind the achievement. I agree with others that you should have your wife and daughter talk to a doctor or physiotherapist so that a person of authority can address her concerns. Hopefully female, so that your wife can't easily dismiss that person's authority. Maybe get her to ask a doctor so she gets a professional opinion and sees how misinformed it is. Can your wife talk to your daughter's coach about her concerns? Also, if your daughter is doing track, she's going to be working out with her team and doing the exercises they do, so she'll be doing resistance training anyway. Is the fear growth stunting her real reason she doesn't want your daughter doing these exercises? Or is that just her grasping at straws to provide a rationale for not allowing the exercises for some other reason she can't or won't articulate? My money is on the latter. And if that's the case, then convincing her that resistance training is safe is just curing a symptom, not the cause, and she'll come up with some other reason to be against the training. You need to find out the underlying reason why she doesn't want your daughter doing this training. I'll bet you a shiny new nickel that it doesn't actually have to do with stunting her growth. Completely speculative, wild guessery here, but my money is on the idea that she thinks that resistance training will lead to more pronounced musculature, and she doesn't think that a muscular body is feminine, so she doesn't want your daughter doing exercises that will make her bulk up but doesn't want to say that. Have your wife and daughter speak to the doctor about it. Let them be the one to provide the proper information and education for your wife's misconceptions. I, 32M, got high and had sex with my friend, 30M, a week ago. I am not sure what to do with our friendship now. It feels like a floodgate has opened and we can't close it back. Noah has been my friend for a few years now. He lives just a few houses down from me. He was married for a bit but got divorced because he was messing around too much. He is a bit of a hound when it comes to sex. He has sex with a lot of women, he works out and focuses on his looks for the sole purpose of getting laid. He is very flirty with women in general. I was married up until 3 years ago when my wife passed away. We were gonna day drink, but Noah brought up that he had some drugs, specifically MDMA and shrooms. I hadn't done them since college, but I was excited. We both did it, and got pretty damn high, and we decided to go swimming in my pool. We both got naked, which in of itself wasn't that weird. I had seen him nude in the gym locker room like 100 times. But I got incredibly horny for him out of the blue. I have always somewhat been attracted to guys, but it's never been a very strong attraction and it's always been easy to just ignore. But in that moment I was just impossibly attracted to Noah. I mentioned to him I was incredibly horny, and he laughed and said he was too, and he asked if I wanted to watch some videos, and I said yeah. We went inside and he sort of stopped me and got a bit serious and asked if I was sure I wanted to do what he thought I wanted to do, and I said yes. And we ended up having sex. Well, just blowjobs. We didn't do anything anal. It was simultaneously the weirdest thing imaginable and also felt totally natural and casual. I've never done anything with a man, and I never really thought I would enjoy it very much, but I did, a lot. He has done stuff with men apparently. He is much more sexually comfortable and experienced than I am. And it wasn't like it was quick thing. We lounged around the house for like 5 hours doing this. We hung out, watched movies, talked and chatted normally, but also couldn't keep our hands off of each other the entire time. It was honestly great. And I can't entirely blame it on the drugs. The drugs wore off well before he left. It's been 6 days since then. I am in another city on a work trip until the 7th. We sort of talked briefly over text. I feel a whole whirlwind of emotions right now. Some part of me thinks that we should have never done that because it might have potentially ruined the friendship. Part of me also wants to continue. I don't really have much romantic feelings for him in that way. I still view him just as my friend, but now I have all kinds of sexual feelings that I want to continue on, and I am sure he wants to as well. But how are we possibly going to do this? He lives 4 houses down from me. Are we just gonna be doing this constantly? I mean, we hang out relatively often, but now there is a whole sex layer added on top. I don't see how we can hang out and not have that on our minds. It also feels incredibly weird having my first homosexual relationship. This is really not something I ever expected. I always figured I would never act on that stuff. I don't know how my parents or friends would react to this. I know there is a lot of stigma that bisexual men are viewed just gay men who haven't accepted reality yet, and I don't want to be viewed as that. I knew one bisexual guy in college, and I specifically remember he was never able to get a girlfriend or get with girls because they all just viewed him as gay. I have no personal issue with this stuff obviously, but I know the stigmas exist. How should I proceed? Too long didn't read, slept with my good friend after a drugged up night. Not sure how our friendship is going to work from here on out. Lots of stuff going on here, dude. So first I just want to say it sounds like your first gay experience was fun and enjoyable, and that's awesome. I think you need to get clear on what you'd like from Noah, and then hash that out with him when sober. Sounds like, since you're not interested in him romantically, that you want a friends with benefits situation, which isn't uncommon. You don't have to tell friends and family about it. It's not a relationship, and doesn't need to be public or have a future. If Noah is down for that, great, but considering he's a hound dog, you probably want to ask when he last got tested for STIs, and use condoms when you hook up. MDMA and shrooms? No wonder you were horny. I came here to say bullshit about the chatted normally on MDMA and shrooms lol. Take it easy. enjoy yourself and talk with Noah about it. MDMA or shrooms may have played a major role in tearing down your fears and inhibitions, but that does not mean that what you two did was something bad or weird. You had an amazing experience. It's completely normal to want to feel good again and repeat. You are two single adults who are conveniently living close to one another. Just do what feels right, be open with him about your interests and wants. Good luck. You don't need to tell anyone anything about your arrangement or your newly realized sexual orientation. You owe that to no one. You come out if and when you want. Your fears of being stigmatized are real. People are just not there yet with bisexual men. I think you guys need to have a frank and open chat about how you both feel and where you both stand. Not worrying about embarrassment or anything like that. All the cards on the table and then decide how best to proceed mutually. Friends. FWB. Dip your toes into seeing how you both feel about developing a relationship. I, 26F, feel like my partner, 26 meters, can be bossy and controlling, and I'm looking for ways to deal. Hi all, I have been dating my partner for 10 months and things are going great. We connect really well in the bedroom, have many hobbies we both enjoy, and generally respect each other and treat each other well. A little background, my so is an only child. He is a strong-willed, confident, and driven person. I'm inspired by his ability to speak up for his needs and boundaries, but sometimes feel like he goes over the top in asserting himself. I am one of 6 children and, as a woman, I'm trying to take steps to overcome my nature of compromise and people-pleasing to be stronger about communicating my needs, but it can be difficult. My nature is to avoid conflict at all cost and do as I'm told. Anyway, I will reiterate that this issue is minor, but it's been getting to me. I so is bossy. He is a perfectionist. He has ways of doing things that are the right way for him, that I see as one path among many. Even the littlest things he will have an opinion on. Pack your backpack this way, not that way. Order this thing on the menu. Use this type of cleaner, not the one you're using. Put random object over here, not where you just put it, despite it not making a lick of difference. Are you sure you're right about that? I heard that X, Y, and Z are actually the most common. As I write these examples out, I feel like I'm nitpicking, but it gets to me over time. I feel like he doesn't trust me to do things correctly, or that I'm not capable of making these minor decisions. At first I do as he said, but now we live together, and I know I'm a competent person. So I will sometimes tell him to stop telling me what to do. He usually acquiesces and drops it, but sometimes I can tell he's put off by my protests. I'm fine with helpful instruction and open to new ways of doing things, but sometimes I feel like I'm walking on eggshells with stuff. No matter how I do something, I just know he will come behind me and fix it or tell me outright to do something different. Has anyone else successfully dealt with this? I get the most upset when it's super minor things that make no difference if it's his way or my way. Like, chill dude. Thanks for reading. Too long didn't read. My so is a perfectionist and likes things his way. He bosses me around sometimes, and I'm looking for ways to stand my ground or politely address this issue because I'm also a capable person and I'm allowed to take up space. Edit, shared this in a comment below, but providing an update here. We chatted about the issue earlier today and he seemed surprised, like he didn't realize he was doing it or that it bothered me, but he agreed to watch out for it and accepted that I might point it out in the future when he's nitpicking. I think he is just ingrained in his ways and thinks he's always doing things correctly, i.e., everyone should do it his way/correct way. But I have my own ways and I think we will combine our powers for good.